What's up, everybody? Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm going to break down the Community Corner number 23, go over the map changes, and talk about the Amber Link. But first, let's go over the Community Corner. Alright, so this newest update, version 43, will be released on Thursday the 21st. Not on Tuesday, which is traditional. It is going to be Thursday. Now, they didn't specify if it's going to always be on Thursdays from now on, or if this is just a special occasion. I would assume that this is probably a special thing, just because of the massive amount of updates we're getting. Now, the first big update is the visual update. It's finally here, guys. A lot of the reworks are going to be changed, or a lot of things are going to be changed, and they didn't really go into specifics, so I don't know if it's just kind of like a, hey, it's pretty now, or if there's going to be some actual changes, but it does sound like there will be some sort of changes within the map. They did talk about certain heroes like Wukong and Kallari being able to jump over walls, and so I don't know if they're going to lower walls, or if they're just getting rid of the kind of invis walls that are here now, which they did specifically say, hey, collision's going to be way better. Invis walls are going away. Getting stuck on things, I'm sure everybody's got stuck on the stairs running up to the core, or stuck on whatever, like that pebble that you get stuck on when you head to that river buff. And just those small little collision things, they're working out. And yeah, they mentioned being able to jump over terrain, which, you know, that's kind of something that's sort of going to be really Paragon specific. Not a whole lot of MOBAs out there allow heroes to traverse terrain quite like that. Now, they did, like I said, mention more verticality, and there are a handful of heroes that can jump pretty high. You know, Greystone, Fang, Kallari, and Wukong, of course, so there might be a lot more ways that we can get into engagements by, you know, jumping over a wall and surprising somebody. I'm really interested to see that. I'm really interested to see if the map is being kind of reworked. Maybe how we got back in, what was it, like version 34 or something like that, where they changed the Raptor Pit and, you know, just kind of that first update to Monolith where it changed everything around. I'm really hoping for that. Monolith is a fun map, but I would like to see some things kind of be altered and just freshen it up. Other than just, you know, hey, it got a facelift. Now, another thing is cards are now going to be able to be purchased through rep within the store, which, you know, I've kind of expressed my view on the card system. I think everybody should have all the cards, but this is a step towards the right direction, I suppose. It's still going to require you to have tons of rep, and if y'all remember back, you know, previous to version 42, the cards that you wanted, like Thunder Cleaver, cost just a ridiculous amount of those materials. So I kind of think that might be the same for rep. You can either buy a mastery or 5 masteries, or you can buy this one card. But at least people that really want to try out certain cards will have a little bit more access to actually try them out. They did not mention gyms, so I really hope that we can purchase gyms, but they did not specify that. Now, they did mention a handful of characters that are going to be changed, or they're receiving some sort of change. And I don't know if this is nerfs or buffs or, you know, actual just changes in animation. They did not really say that, but the heroes they did mention were Grimm, Quang, Sevrog, Gideon, Iggy, and Aurora. Which we already know Aurora is getting kind of an animation thing. She is getting a buff to the range of her abilities, but she is also getting, you know, that animation is going to take much less time. So if you're running beside somebody, by the time you know, start your Hoarfrost, they're going to get caught within it instead of just, you know, being able to outrun you. So you can chase enemies down as Aurora, which is a change that needed to happen. I just made that Aurora video, and, you know, it was very evident that she needed that little rework. They did say Iggy was getting a nerf, so that's good. I don't know what's going on with Gideon. I really hope that they do something with his ultimate. You know, Grim is kind of in a goofy spot right now. People are building him as a caster instead of an ADC because he's got that crazy short ultimate, and he's very, very successful by doing that. But, you know, I think they kind of want to turn him back into an ADC. This is just my thoughts or opinions. So maybe we'll see that. They did say Grux will be receiving a future change where his, you know, punching animation is going to be kind of polished. Right now, once you get a lot of attack speed, he's got this real clunky mechanic, or, you know, like his fourth swing is really delayed. So they did mention in the future they're fixing that. And lastly, they talked about Steel. His Bull Rush is going to be removed and replaced with a stun, which they called it Shield Bash. So, you know, I would assume it's just you hit somebody and they stun for, you know, maybe half a second or something. So that's great, but they did not say if that's actually happening now or in the future. Now, they did also talk about a ton of cards are being reworked. They didn't really give any specifics, but I would assume they're trying to remove some of the, you know, kind of key broken cards currently, and I think that needs to be done. They talked about aura stacking is being removed, which is awesome. Aura stacking, you know, that's not fun. It's not enjoyable for anybody. And so it needed to be removed. It should have never been a thing, but we're finally getting it removed. There is not going to be a new hero, and so, you know, just don't expect a new hero. And auto run. Now, this is a feature that I never really even thought about, but there's going to be an auto run feature, and what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to run in a straight line and pull out your little menu and assign attribute points, or, you know, maybe put on your auto run and get a sip of water while you're running from the core or something along those lines. So, you know, hey, that's great. I don't think it was, you know, just, I never really thought it was an issue, but being able to assign points while still moving is going to be very nice. All in all, that's really all the Community Corner had this week. It wasn't just the craziest Community Corner. Not a whole lot was said. A lot of just like your typical Community Corner where it's pretty much just a group of guys hanging out and kind of humble bragging. So it wasn't the biggest notifying Community Corner, but that's really kind of it. I do still want to talk about the jungle changes because I think this is huge. Now, for those of you who have not found out yet, the Amber Link is being removed from the jungle. So you will no longer get shared experience by having your jungler, you know, take out those camps, and a portion of the experience or the portion of the gold goes into this, you know, orb, and then every other minute it gets released and the team gets fed. That's going away. It's now just going to be a steady supply of gold, which they didn't really fully explain it. I don't know if it's every 2 minutes you get 1,000 gold, or if it's going to be something like every 10 seconds you get, you know, a 20 gold or something. They did not fully explain it, but the Amber Link is going away, which, you know, in my opinion, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I always thought what made a good jungler was counter jungling, and counter jungling has kind of gone away in version 42. You don't see it near as much. Jungle invade and getting wards down in the enemy jungle is really not just huge priority like it used to be with the jungler in, you know, the previous version. And, you know, I don't really know if I like that. I always thought invading the enemy jungle was really fun. It was, you know, that super risky, and you're, you know, shaking and your hands are sweating, and, oh, okay, I cleared a camp, let's get out before, you know, they rotate and kill me. Or, hey, I'm gonna take out this camp, take out their Amber Link, grab the green buff, and then get out. Now it's just going to be, hey, you know, don't really mess with the enemy jungle unless you have nothing else to do. And, you know, that I'm going to definitely miss the risk reward kind of, being that sneaky hero that, when the enemy jungler finally does go to his camp and he realizes all of his camps are gone. That was always rewarding feeling. That's just completely gone away now. So we'll see if this change is good or not. That's the Amber Link is going away. That's just all we can say about that. In addition to the Amber Link going away, the green buff is now going to be moved where the Amber Link currently is, and another jungle camp is going to be put in where the green buff currently is. So instead of having 5 jungle camps, we're now going to have 6 jungle camps, which, hey, that's cool. I don't know if that's going to affect the jungle role near as much. Now, as y'all all know, I don't play in 5 stacks very often, and most of the time I'm playing with 1 or 2 other people, so we don't have just a whole crazy lot of communication yet. And the jungle role, if you're playing with that solo player, they half the time never gank as it is now, because they can stay in the jungle forever. And if they're a hero like Kalari or Quang that has some sort of sustain, they never even have to go back to base until they're getting, they can hang out in the jungle until they have, 7 or 8 points, and then, go grab a card, come back to lane, maybe help out and get a gank somewhere, and then head back to the jungle, and then they're gone the rest of the match. And that happens more and more. So by them getting another camp and removing the Amber Link, where they'll probably get more experience and more gold from those camps than they used to, I can kind of see junglers just never ganking unless, you're a solid jungler. If you have a hero that's learning it, or if you've got just a solo queue and he's like, hey, I might not go try to gank over there, I'd rather just clean out this camp. So I kind of see the really aggressive junglers might be just completely going away, and you might just start seeing, instead of it being called the jungler, it's just now the farmer. So I don't know how I feel about that. Hopefully we'll see. It seems a lot more of a casual move than a competitive move, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. Now, jungle camps will now also spawn in a large minion. And this minion is worth more gold and probably experience than the smaller minions. And I would assume that's probably going to be something like a green buff minion, except, he's probably just white wearing armor, or something along those lines, maybe even a siege minion, something like that. And he's worth more. You take him out, he spawns in with the initial 2, or the, at the 1 minute mark when 2 minions spawn in. The way I read it is now 3 minions are going to spawn in, and 1 is going to be a large minion. And I would assume that, like, every 5 minutes, one of these large minions will spawn in. They didn't say if camps will go up to 6 or stay at 5. They didn't really specify that. I would assume that they would just stay at 5 and just, because, hey, it's an even number if you have 1 large one and 4 small ones. That seems like an obvious choice to me, but I don't know, and they didn't really explain that. But we will definitely see some significant changes in the jungle in version 43. And lastly, on, kind of, they say on a somewhat unrelated note, the way minion waves spawn in is going to be reduced. Currently we would have like 4, and then we'd have 2 waves of 4, and then 2 waves of 5, 2 waves of 6, or something like that. And before you knew it, the waves had 20 minions in them. Now it's going to be reduced, so it sounds like that's going to slow the pace of the game a little bit when those minion waves are smaller. And hopefully this is going to help out counter that, Awaken the Imrit card. You don't see a whole lot of heroes using that. But in the late game, when a hero does have that card, you know, they can flip a wave, take down an inhib without you ever even knowing it. And it's, you know, that to me is not competitive when a team is doing everything they can, they've got all their lanes pushed, and they go and grab Prime, which actually happened to me the other day, and we're pushing all the lanes, we've got crazy pressure up, and the enemy team had a Kalari, flipped a wave, and took out an inhib, while, you know, our whole team is creating all this pressure with Prime. You know, that felt really cheap and unfair, so hopefully we'll see a change with that. Probably not, but maybe with the card rework and these slower minion spawn times, we will see, or wave accumulating times, we'll see a change. And maybe it'll even slow down the pace, which I'm a big fan of. I think the pace of Paragon is just a little too fast for my comfort. But hopefully we'll see some changes, and I hope all these changes are positive. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of how the jungle is being changed, but hopefully we will see something, and as long as it's a move towards bettering the game, I'm all on board. Well, that's going to wrap it up, guys. If I missed anything or y'all just want to talk about it, let me know down in the comments and let's talk. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.